Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Aquarius January 17, 2023. The moon heads into your spirit sector for a visit of over 2 days, inspiring you to change your usual routine and helping you see your life a little differently. Discussions and ideas can be refreshing. Mercury remains retrograde for only a few more days, and this transit has a way of rehashing or recirculating past problems. However, it's a fine time to refine projects already underway. It's also helpful for turning your attention to issues you usually overlook. Others show you more appreciation for your input or companionship. There can be a special understanding that bonds you with someone. You could be emerging from the rubble now. This is because mighty Mars, the planet of energy, is finally returning to life in your solar house of home, family, and domesticity. If married or living together, you could become quite busy moving, renovating, or redecorating. This may even require you to step in for one of your parents, and if this is the case, do so with grace. Singles also can use this energy to transform their living space into a sanctuary for romance and intimacy. Seize the day. Keep moving forward in your professional journey. You might feel emotionally invested in taking the next few steps in your career path when the moon enters its fall, Scorpio. Even though the moon in Scorpio is not the strongest lunation, it can help you feel more emotionally invested in your professional journey. You might be ready to put your heart and soul into the next chapter, but you will need to thoroughly research your options before making the commitment. Once you feel ready to do so, the lunar energy can empower your ability to persevere. As the moon leaves your financial sector today, it will do more than just leave you with your financial instincts and imagination fueled and feeling more emotionally and intuitively engaged. While the moon was in your financial sector when the dwarf planet Ceres returned last month, their alignment over the last few days was their first, leaving you with a better read on her deep dive into your financial needs and priorities. It's time for you to start thinking about what your goals are health-wise. There is no way to hit the target if you are a jumble of thoughts inside. Make sure you have the rest you need to allow you to think clearly with a rested mind. If you have access to these foods and can tolerate them, consider adding beets. Don't forget that beet greens are delicious sautéed with a bit of garlic, lemon, and olive oil, tomatoes, and dark green vegetables in your meals to help cleanse your liver. Most of all, focus on developing a habit of mild exercise that you can do nearly every day. Your mind could use a break from running itself in circles, and one of the easiest ways to do this is to engage in physical activities that ground you into your body. Revel in the glory of this day, for it is all about you. Do not worry about having to divide your attentions between home and the office today. Family first is your slogan right now. Explore the legacy your ancestors have left you, and see where your involvement in it will enhance the birthright of your children. You may even become wistful, due to some memory of a pleasant family experience. You may find that you have a sudden desire to bring out the nostalgic memorabilia that you had stored away. If so, reopen those cartons and blow off the dust. Of the 4 planets that began the year in retrograde motion, 2 have turned direct over the last 4 days, one on the income and the other on the home front. The last of the 4 planets to turn retrograde will be Uranus, who today moves into his final 7 days in retrograde motion in your communication sector. With Mercury, the planet of communication, in retrograde motion for another 3 days, this is putting a lot of focus on giving the past and unsaid words a voice. 3 days after the moon wrapped up its first visit to your relationship sector for the year and the buttons it may have pushed in its final hours, Uranus moves into his final 7 days in retrograde motion in your communication sector. Uranus will be the last of the 4 planets that began the year in retrograde motion to turn direct, giving you additional time to give the past and unsaid words a voice. Our eyes in the sky. The Libra moon squares Pluto in Capricorn early in the day, creating power dynamics and struggles with others. This is a moment when arguments can occur, because we feel it's important to assert our beliefs and be heard. Later, The moon enters Scorpio and shares a minor frustration with Jupiter in Aries, heightening passions and taking matters to the extreme. You get on famously with everyone you meet, and it appears you are friendlier than ever. Your helpful and obliging nature encourages others to be ready to lend a hand and be especially keen to return your kindnesses. Now is a good time to introduce yourself to a potential employer or enter important discussions, which ultimately turn out well. Slow down. With all the activities you're involved in, both your mind and body need more relaxation than you're allowing them. Listen to your body, and do something good for your health. Pay more attention to the balance between activity, relaxation, and pleasure. A deep tissue massage often works wonders. If you plan to make some financial transactions, wait a little and think things over at your leisure. There are some obstacles in the way that prevent the matter being handled as smoothly as you imagined. Even though you'd like to buy something, far better to wait if you want a favorable outcome. The people you talk to are considerate, and any social occasion provides you and everybody who attend with a wonderful experience, where you can enjoy a convivial atmosphere and pleasant company. In such a relaxed atmosphere, the chances are that you make new friends. It is also possible for you to renew old friendships. Just after midnight, the Libra moon squares off with Pluto in Capricorn, provoking erratic behavior. As many of us will be asleep at this hour, this influence can manifest in unsettling dreams or even nightmares. Pay attention to whatever arises in these visions, as they can be cathartic. A confrontation with latent fears will allow us to exorcise whatever unconscious anxieties are festering in our minds. Unhealthy behaviors we commit to dealing with head-on following this transit can be purged from our lives. Following this, the moon enters a void period lasting until the morning. You're resourceful and happy to spend time on improving your appearance and behaving as well as you possibly can. You feel affectionate towards those closest to you, or if single, your positive attitude has a marked effect on the way you respond. Not feeling like anything too physically demanding, you prefer a good time in pleasant surroundings. Exercise self-control and don't make agreements without first thinking them through. Otherwise, you could get involved in unnecessary disagreements. You may receive an offer from someone you find attractive, but don't be too upset if it doesn't go your way. Feeling restless, you may resort to overeating but must resist the temptation to overindulge. Be careful with your health and avoid pushing yourself too far. Circumstances sometimes result in greater difficulties arising than you might expect, and for this reason you need to save and ration your energy. Take a step back, don't get unduly stressed. Being too ambitious doesn't help you achieve your goal. Before sunup, the moon enters Scorpio, ending its void of course. Although we may have struggled with a bad night's sleep, awakening into a Scorpio lunar period provides us with the emotional fortitude to handle our problems. Instead of repressing what has been revealed, we have the means to confront it over the next 2 days. We are now equipped to dig into our psychological workings without running away from what we discover.